Press it once, yeah, don't press it again, and we can do this whole thing in one shot, and then we can get on with actually building the car. Sound good? Let's go.
Anyway, welcome to...
Hello!
What was the name we came up with?
The Prop Shaft Chronicles. we could call it a trilogy, but I have a feeling it's going to go on for longer, so we're going to call it the Chronicles. Right, so again we have the gearbox out of the car. I'll tell you why we're doing that later.
Oh yeah, let's do the prop first. Quick.
But first of all, we now have a very large two-piece prop in the car. It's part Nissan President, which came from Garage D. This back part, apparently it's very rare, but so are all the parts from Garage D apparently. We had it shortened this end, put a bigger joint in it. We've still got the same rotating joint in the middle that came from it, which seems pretty good. Bearing's quite nice. Now what we broke last time was the spline on the sliding joint, so we've gone for a slightly larger one. I'm just going to show you that now. So that, as you can see, is quite big. I don't know if I've got the old one to show you.
No. Somewhere around.
If I can find it, I'll make Andrew edit it in later. Let's put that back in there before I lose it.
So the reason for getting Nissan President rather than Skyline or S-Body or something else?
It's just bigger.
And this?
It's bigger and it's got a torsion tube in it. So that's like a rubber sleeve that goes quite far down here. And we're hoping what that's going to do is take some of the shock loading out of everything, basically. So hopefully it won't shear quite as much as it did before. That's the theory anyway.
So the latest theory of deniability that you put in the handbrake too much.
I don't do that.
Is often. It the everything's too rigid?
Yeah, that's it. It's not nothing to do with the handbrake. Nothing.
So we've got this and clutch delay valve.
Yeah, that's why the gearbox is off. So we're going to fit a clutch delay valve.
So the first thing you take out of a car usually, and we're putting back in. But it's quite common in Formula D, it turns out, that they run clutch delay valves for this kind of issue, to try and take the stress off the drivetrain a little bit with the power they run. They do run more power than us, but yeah, this is the cheapest part compared to some of the things they do. So it's nice to put on the car.
Yeah.
But we've got to take the box out because we run a concentric slave, which is there
you go, concentric slave.
This is the tilting part, and basically it's completely hydraulic for anyone who doesn't know, and this piece, when you push the pedal, moves out. Now they're a bit of a pain to set up, aren't they?
They are a bit of a nightmare.
And what's really common is that...
And the bleeding is very difficult. So you can see the bleed. This is the bleed here. So this is where the joint to bleed all the excess air out of. It's not quite at the top, so you're not always 100% sure whether all the air has gone out. Also, the feed is near the top as well, so there can be air trapped inside. So we need to take this off, take it apart when we fit the valve, so we can move this around. The best way is to move this around, give it a bit of a shake and a tap, so we can make sure that we get all of the air out of it. Otherwise it's just a monumental pain in the backside.
Yeah, you can bleed it with the box in the car. You know, if you want to do it at a track or something, you could do it with the box in the car and it would probably work. But we're inducing a lot of air into the system, and we don't want to drive all the way to Scotland to be messing around with this. So it's pretty easy. It will take half an hour to take the box out on the ramp. It's not particularly difficult, is it?
Depends if you do it the right way around or not, Andrew.
It only took half an hour.
Huh?
It only took about half an hour.
Well, even with taking the wrong bits off.
Yeah, about 5 minutes struggling with it and went home.
Okay, so you could probably do it in less than that. Quite a lot less than that. But anyway, there we go. Right.
So, also, just while we're in here, so for anyone that hasn't seen this before, this is not Toyota or Nissan or... No, wait. Yeah, Toyota, because it's a Toyota engine splines. This is BMW.
It is a BMW spline.
Which you went for because it's stronger?
It's bigger. We should go for things that are bigger.
Bigger and stronger. And then the clutch is basically
it's a Toyota clutch with BMW friction plates in it. That's what it is.
I mean that's Toyota. I think it's a universal clutch, isn't it?
Is it? It's got a Toyota backing on it.
And
Toyota would be pull clutch, wouldn't it? So this is just a universal clutch that happens to bolt onto a Toyota.
For anyone that's wondering what the scratch marks around the pressure plate are, that was basically when we were setting it up. We didn't quite have the cables routed correctly, and they were just catching on the pressure plate, which has done that. It did damage the hose a little bit, so we changed the hose out. But that was cool, end of all in like messing around with test fitting and stuff. So we did half expect it to happen, really, didn't we? Because it's quite tricky to get the hoses out cleanly, wasn't it?
Now we know the perfect place to put the zip tie now, to ensure that doesn't happen again. I tried to make like 3 brackets that would hold out the way, and turns out just a zip tie works way better. Anyway,
now we've got the box out and everything, we're just going to plumb in the delay valve, which is inside the car, and hopefully get it all together and get to Driftland tomorrow.
Let us hope and pray, children.
Okay, one clutch delay valve. We went for this specific one because you can change the jet in it without bleeding it, apparently. Well, they've not tried it yet. So it's pretty simple, it literally just goes in line. So master cylinder at this end, clutch at this end, and then the jets in here that you can change to change what kind of delay you have. So we've just got the recommendation is to put the smallest delay in first and then put bigger ones in as you snap everything, apparently. So we're going to do that. Now we're going to mount it down here. But being a right-hand drive car, and this is an American product, it needs to go that way around. I made some handy labels which you'll probably never use and they'll probably fall off, but they're on there anyway. So you're just going to basically chop it in line with the this is the clutch line, it then goes off outside there. That's a fire extinguisher nozzle if anyone's wondering what that is, and plug for the lambda sensor. So I'm just going to chop that in. Already got my riv nuts in to hold it in place. Get it in, bleed all up, and we're good to go. And it's in. Just got to bleed it, test it, make sure it works properly. Not that I think there'd be much wrong with it, really.
Tidy up all the mess you've made.
Tidy up all the mess.
Feels weird.
Is it really slow? So was it? It's still really slow to respond?
Yeah. It's alright. I mean, I went up there and went, I probably was doing like 5 miles an hour, stuck in third, banged the clutch up and spun up all the way up the thing, but it just feels weird, you know, like clutch kicking. Maybe we'll set that back a bit, because I think I'll just push. It doesn't need to push that far, I don't think. It feels like you're having to, you know what I mean? The clutch feels spongy and slow. There's got no air in it though. Doing some talking. Am I doing better than Lee Barker at talking?
I'm not very good at talking.
Look at the camera.
I say a lot.
Talking to the
I'm
camera.
talking to you.
I do that. I go, but no one's noticed yet.
What do you want to know?
Today. On a good day?
I think so. I don't know, we'll find out in a minute.
So we're at Driftland.
We are at Driftland, sunny Scotland, and it is actually sunny, although the sun's about to go in, but still, it's quite sunny. And we're going to go and beat Barker today. So.
You're not going to beat me. me.
I am
It's physically impossible.
It's not physically impossible. It's quite probable, in fact.
Actually, your car's crap.
It's not. My car's. Have you seen your car? Yeah, so I'm going to beat Barker. It's going to be great. We're not going to break anything. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Everyone needs a dream.
Everyone needs a dream.
And a spare prop shaft.
And a spare prop shaft. Some spare drive shafts. And a spare dick. So yeah.
I don't need to bring in spares. The car never goes wrong.
Spare front bumper.
I should change my spark plugs that are 2 years old.
Maybe an oil change wouldn't go amiss.
So what's happened, Andrew? The front pulley has gone.
Car's getting a bit.
Should be about.
That was weird, man. I didn't feel like a shaft braking, but I felt it hit underneath the seat over there. I just assumed it had done a shaft. It's brand new, isn't it? Lovely. Put the bonnet.
One shiny new pulley and belt.
Fixed, working. Yay.
Still
Try
got,
not to break anything else.
still got what, 3 hours tomorrow, 2.5 hours practice tomorrow?
Yeah. So we have to just make it to the main event without destroying the car.
Make it qualifying, goal has been achieved.
Yep. See what happens.
Okay, so that was our trip to Driftland for BDC round 3. As you can see from the video, it didn't really go as well as we hoped, but we did get further than usual.
We did indeed, yes, at another reasonably stressful event where we changed a few components. This time we had to change the diff. Luckily,
Our old buddy.
Dwayne McKeever had a spare diff with him this time, and I broke mine, so he gave me his out the back of his van, and we struggled like hell to get that in.
It wasn't the easiest thing to fit.
No. Part of the problem was that the two-piece prop shaft that we had in the car was, when taking it out, the actual bracket that holds it up is quite flimsy. So it bent slightly taking it out, and we didn't know or notice because it was underneath the car. We were trying to get back in, none of the bolts lined up, and we couldn't work it out. Couldn't see properly underneath there, wasn't enough room. So
we put the one-piece spare in.
we put the one-piece spare in. Or rather, Adam Charville put the one-piece spare in after I lost my temper with the other one. So, very thank you, Adam. We already have other problems with getting drive shaft out due to the fact that the diff that we put in had slightly different output spline on the cup. So what we normally do is just pull the cup out of the diff, grab the other diff, put it in, and the cup just slides straight in. But this one had a slightly different spline, so we couldn't do that, so we had to take the whole drive shaft out.
It isn't very easy.
Not very easy.
Certainly not a 5-minute rule kind of repair the drive shaft.
No.
Maybe we do the left one quickly.
Yeah, the left one's okay, the left one's alright, but the right hand side was a little bit different. So luckily we had Richard Dalby Smith and Lee Colgate Lawrence on hand, helping us. So they were absolutely fantastic. They did loads of work for us. It was brilliant. Yeah. So we managed to get out just in time for qualifying, and went and did our run.
So the run you saw in the video was Mike's first run, which was the better run. It was 77.3.
77.3. Yeah.
And that put you
19th at the end.
Yeah, 19th. There's 24 allowed through in pro class. So pretty good considering there was minimal practice. We did a practice day on the Thursday, but we got a couple of laps on the Saturday, and a few more laps on the Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah. So on Saturday we broke the front pulley fell completely apart after 2 laps.
Yeah, so you saw in the video the front pulley, it's like a rubber mount between the actual pulley where the belt goes and what bolts onto the crank, and that fell off. Quite common on JZs. We had a spare. Bolted that back on. There wasn't really much point in rushing that one because we were never going to make it back out in the time allotted for that 1 hour practice session. So we took our time, did it properly to make sure it didn't fall off again. They fall off again, it didn't fall off in the first place, it broke. So that sold. Is there a rate of upgrading that? There's an ATI pulley, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, we could put an ATI pulley on it. So get a bit more budget. And we can put some put an ATI pulley on.
What other problems do we have? That's kind of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of it.
No prop shaft broken.
Yeah, didn't break a prop shaft this time.
So Julian Garrity is going to sort us out an even stronger diff. So we've been running quite tall ratio ones. So we've been running it was a 3.4 originally, wasn't it? And then a 3.5 was the one that just basically the pinion just stripped on it for whatever reason. I'm sure we'll find out from Julian's inspection whenever he does that. And then the 4.1 ratio we borrowed off Dwayne.
Yeah.
That's got much deeper teeth on it, so that again should be a lot stronger. So that should hopefully give us some more durability at the back end. I'm probably going to do drive shafts instead, just running standard GTR drive shafts currently. There's always going to be a weak link in it, but
it's the only thing you haven't broken yet is a drive shaft.
Yeah, and drive shaft. Can't wait to break one of those and change the drive shaft. Probably be easier than the diff though. The prop's probably the easiest thing to change really at the minute, isn't it?
With the single piece, yeah. The props.
Let's get back to breaking props.
Well, let's try not to break anything. So we're at Three Sisters next. We're gonna beef up the drivetrain again, and hope that we can do even better.
Yeah. So the goal for Three Sisters really is the goal for this one really was to get into qualification.
Yeah.
Really, wasn't it? Which we kind of achieved, but we did have to do repairs to get there. So ideally, we'll get all that way into a battle without actually having to repair anything this time. And if Mike can win a battle on a fair kind of win, so not with the other driver spinning or something like that, just out and out winning a battle, that will probably be the next goal we need to achieve, really, won't it? There's very limited testing in this car as well.
Yeah, I think once we have a little bit more reliability and some gear ratios that I've actually practiced in, we'll be able to do a little bit better.
Cool. So yeah, tune in next time for Three Sisters. I don't think there's much to show repairing the car between now and then. If there is, we'll do it. We've had enough of watching us put diffs in now. So yeah, catch us at Three Sisters for round 4 of the BDC.
Yeah, see you there.